Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's show. Trump was right about it big time. New big time video has gone viral. Kamala Harris wanted the open borders. She advocated for it. It's been in her books. There's a ton of videos coming out. And now she's supposedly trying to go to the southern border and say she's going to be tough on the border. It's all a huge lie. It's literally blowing up media big time right now. Kamala Harris is as fake as it gets when it comes to her flip-flopping on all of her policies. She wants to grant mass amnesty to these illegals, give them all taxpayer benefits right before the election. How convenient. This is literally insane. It's not like they're even trying to hide it anymore. But we've got the details for you in just a moment. We also have now where Meta/Facebook has been caught again showing a big bias towards Kamala Harris and continuing to tear down Donald Trump. As much as they want to say they're neutral, they are completely one-sided, and they've been called out again. We also have, this is stuff that you won't ever hear on the mainstream media, but George Soros is a far-left progressive. He is trying to buy 200 plus radio stations right before the election. The FCC has literally bypassed their review process to allow him to go ahead and do this. I mean, as blatant as it is, they're trying to get the word out. They're trying to control the airwaves. And he's putting hundreds of millions of dollars into local elections to get his people elected. So we've got a ton of news today. Just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And thank you to all of our subscribers. And also thank you to everybody that blesses me and my family with the super chat donation. We are so thankful for you and for that. And also thank you to all of our new members that have joined the True Life News family. The link is in the description to join, and we're going to grow this family and do some amazing, amazing things together. But to say it all, Trump has been right on so many things across the board. Check this out.
Is reportedly considering visiting the border on Friday as part of her trip to Arizona, as she hopes to present herself as tough on immigration. But a video from 2018 suggests a different story.
Up with education, down with deportation. Up with education, down with deportation. Up with education, down with deportation. Up with education, down with deportation.
Jesus Marquez is a spokesman for Latino Americans for Trump, and he joins us now. Good morning to you, Jesus.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you see her there dancing, and she's shouting up with education, down with deportation. What's your reaction?
Of course she's going to chant that because she wants open border. She has allowed more than 11 million people come across unvetted into the states, into the United States, and she's all for open borders. I wasn't surprised at all to hear there and see this. But look, now she also wants to give amnesty for 2 million DACA recipients. The problem at the border is not the lack of amnesty. The problem at the border is the 11 million people plus that she and Biden have left into the country. And this is a problem that Latinos across the country are not liking it. When you ask Hispanics if they like the open border situation, they all say no. They don't like the fact that they're jumping the line, that they're coming and taking resources that were supposed to be to Americans, and they're taking the jobs too. So I hope that she reconsiders. I don't think she will because it's been more than 4 years now. Well, 4 years. But this is for the people, the American people, to see what she's all up to and what they want, really.
Jesus, when she ran for president in 2019, this is what she said at a debate.
Not forget our DACA recipients, and so I'm going to start there. I will immediately, by executive action, reinstate DACA status and DACA protection to those young people. I will further extend protection for deferral of deportation for their parents.
She also said she would protect 6 million illegals from deportation, and she would do that through executive order. So Axios contacted her campaign to find out if she was still staying quiet about this. And this is what Axios reported. Asked this week whether she'd take those same executive actions, her campaign declined to answer.
Of course they did.
They're not talking about it because they know it's not a winning issue this year.
Of course not, but they're doing it. You know, she's talking about protecting 2 million. They're already protecting almost 20 million that came across under her watch, under the SAR watch. My question is, why doesn't she and even Biden go back and make an executive order to close the border, to protect the borders, to allow for our country to be secure there at the border? She's lacking that. She doesn't care about America. That's why we need somebody like Donald Trump who cares for America, will put America's policies first, and that's exactly what we need.
Jesus.
I'm telling you this, like, now that this is really blowing up across the internet, it is really telling of where Kamala Harris, where their whole campaign stands. They just only say what they need to say in order to do what? To get the votes. And what blows my mind is that a lot of people can't see past that. A lot of people don't see that it's all fake. They all just think, oh no, she's changed. No, this is what they do every single election. Check this out.
Now, I titled my show today, a video that should, go look at the title. Okay, just making sure the title's right. I want to be, that's so much should sink the Kamala Harris campaign. I didn't say would, I said should. Because in any normal election cycle, ladies and gentlemen, where the number one or number two issue, depending on what survey you look at, is, say, X, and you got a candidate on video and say X is a bad thing. It makes sense in a second. And you've got a candidate on video laughing, smiling, and singing about how much she loves X, whatever X may be, that'd be the end. That would be the end. Imagine a candidate, I'm concerned about street crime. And then you got the candidate on video going, up with street crime, down with police. Imagine them singing, dancing, thinking it's a freaking party. They're getting out the fireball. They're ready to go, maybe tequila shots, who knows? It would be the end. Now, I say a video that should sink the campaign because outside of Fox and Newsmax, I have not seen this video anywhere. I'm not saying it's not out there. I don't watch CNN all day. I'm just saying this would be the end. A candidate for office is supposed to be your best weapon in a campaign. When you go to a fundraiser, I can prove it to you. Do you want to see the surrogates? No, you want to see the candidate. 100%. People show up at a Donald Trump fundraiser to meet Donald Trump because they like him. He's got an electric personality. Goes in a supermarket, gives a lady $100 for groceries, looks totally comfortable doing it. Trump is the campaign's best asset. What's the worst asset for the Kamala Harris campaign? Thank you, Justin. Kamala Harris, folks, every time a video comes out, it gets worse. This thing surfaced yesterday. I don't know how this isn't getting more play. The number one or number two issue is the border. Here's Kamala Harris joking, laughing, smoking and joking about it like this is hilarious, dancing like a goofball, smiling with Snoop Doggy Dogg, singing up with education, down with deportation. This is the left summed up in one stupid video that should really be the end of this woman's campaign. Watch this.
Up with education, down with deportation. Up with education, down with deportation. Up with education, down deportation.
Folks, any normal campaign cycle, this is the end.
This is
not a normal campaign cycle. Again, the media is phantom zoning this thing. Remember the Superman 2 where Zod gets sent into the glass and it just floats around the galaxy? That's the story, floating around in the glass. Someone's going to have to break the glass. And this show is going to do it because we've already got, how many people? I'm sorry, I was reading this thing quick during the break here. How much? We got 145,000 people, probably the largest stream in the world right now. There's a couple of things about that video I want to point out. Number one, notice the joy in this. down with deportation, which is effectively saying illegals, no, there's no penalty. Come into the country, it's open season. Our country is your country. Don't worry about the legal immigration process. You just give everyone the double-barrel middle finger and walk right in. She's dancing. She thinks it's funny. But one of the other reasons this sums up the left is, folks, I have been studying the left for most of my adult life for the past, say, 20 plus years. This is the left. I said filling in for Mark Levin probably 10 years ago on radio, and it's still stuck. People still email me about it this day. It's how a lot of people found my podcast. They love the show. I said the left is a bumper sticker party. That's 100%. All they are. Tolerance, coexist, up with education, down with deportation. If you ask them even the simplest of questions about their stupid bullshit sloganeering, they immediately collapse. Up with education? For who? For who? The whole world? Anybody comes in. Terrorists? What about criminals? Are we vetting them? We're dumping the legal process? Everyone. So local, where are they going? They going to Martha's Vineyard to get educated? Or is it just you sending them to conservative cities? How's this working? What about down with deportation? What does that mean? Down with deportation. We're not deporting terrorists? What about criminals? Fentanyl traffickers? Child sex traffickers? Anyone? Say you went through the country illegally 5 or 6 times. Still down with deportation? This is Kamala Harris. Her 100%. Entire campaign is a mother bumper sticker. That is it. That is her entire campaign. Voting for Kamala Harris is voting for a stupid bumper sticker at the expense of your own prosperity. Fact.
And this is going across all the news networks right now. Everybody's trying to say, like, okay, so now that this video is out, what does it mean for Kamala Harris? Listen to this, because this is where this lady on CNN just demolishes Kamala Harris's campaign on CNN.
The vice president has a long history, a well-documented history of really being an ally to these immigrant communities. She has 2 chapters in her book, I Say We Fight and We Are Better Than This, where she really makes a robust case for undocumented immigrants. During the Trump administration, she talked about a climate of fear. She dismissed the border wall as ineffective and a waste of resources. And even her guest at the joint session of Congress was a DACA recipient, was a dreamer. And so for her to go down there and characterize herself as tough on the border, to me, it isn't consistent with a lot of the policy positions that she previously has espoused. The vice president has a long...
You see, it's all blowing up on her right now. All her whole... Remember, she said her values haven't changed, but now that all these things are resurfacing, it's 100% blowing up. Woodbury Hill Studio, thank you so much for that blessing. Says, hi, Joel. Dave and I haven't been around for a few. We were in Puerto Rico, and he's sure with a beautiful engagement. Let's go. Congratulations. Everybody, show Woodbury Hill Studio some love. Congratulate them on the engagement. Back to the mainland now. We missed your B-Day, so here's a little belated B-Day love. Hey, thank you so much for the love. Everybody, show Woodbury Hill Studio some love in the chat. So you see, it's all fake. Even CNN and them can't defend Kamala Harris from her own self. That's how bad things are. And now we've got the whole thing with Zelensky coming over to Pennsylvania, signing these missiles that are going to be used in a war against Russia, even though we're not in a war with Russia. Like, it's mind-blowing how deliberately they're just like spitting in the face of Americans and think that we're too dumb to realize it. Check this out.
I actually don't really want to show up in somebody else's state and like attack their politicians, because that's not my state or Commonwealth. But I saw a photograph of your governor, Josh Shapiro, standing with a foreign leader signing an artillery shell that is going to kill civilians in a country we're not at war with a grin on his face. And I had a couple of thoughts. I was disgusted by it, actually. I was enraged by it. And here's why. Let me be specific about here's why. The first reason is, I've been driving around Pennsylvania, and actually I've fished here a lot over the course of my life. And so I know the state pretty well. And there are some, I mean, it is really one of the prettiest out of 50, maybe the prettiest in spots out of 50. It's ridiculous how pretty it is. But there are some hurting places in this state, like hurting, like actually, where people don't have jobs, where, beautiful buildings in utter disrepair, walking back from dinner last night, people sleeping on the sidewalk, things that we should not put up with in a country with self-respect. And our leaders did that, actually. And so for anybody in charge of anything in this country, and particularly in this state, to be spending time, money, or concern on a foreign country's problems enraged me. It enraged me. How dare you lecture me about problems in some other place, whether it's in Eastern Europe or the Middle East or Central Africa? I don't care. I don't wish any of those people harm at all. I wish everyone well. But for you to spend your time worrying about that and paying for that when your own state, people in your own state are literally living on the sidewalk, damn you, actually. I thought I mean that. Because a leader's only job is to take care of the people he leads. Period. It's not to end global climate change. It's not to defeat Vladimir Putin or anybody else. It's to protect and watch over the people he leads.
Yes.
This is true of any organization, starting with the most basic organization in any society, which is the family. A father's job is to watch over his family. And if his kids are sick and have drug problems, and he takes off to another country to deal with other people's children in a faraway land, he has abandoned his family.
Exactly.
And I don't care what story he tells you about himself and what a great and caring and compassionate person he is, and I don't care how much he attacks you for noticing, he is a bad father and a bad man. Because he has violated his sacred duty to his own children. That's why he's here, is to watch over his children. And the same is true for all organizations. Whether it's a military unit or the office you work in or the town you live in or the state you reside in or the nation you were born in, the people who run it have one job, and that's to watch out for you because they're your leaders. And when they ignore that, they are evil, period. They're not misguided.
100%.
There's no way that someone who lives in this state, particularly who claims to represent this state, was born in this state. I'm one of you. I'm from Pennsylvania. You don't notice that you take a city like the one I woke up in this morning where my wife went to grade school, and it's a beautiful city built over centuries by hardworking immigrants, by the way. German mostly, but probably from lots of other places. And they spent hundreds of years making this a great city. And I walked through it this morning on the way to the park, and the streets are covered in garbage and broken needles. It's like, you don't notice that? Really, Josh Shapiro? You don't notice that? How can you not notice that? There's someone sleeping right there. And you're lecturing me about Ukraine? Damn you.
The whole, I just wonder, does this resonate with you? Of stop stepping over America or Americans to help somebody else. Take care of your own dang house. We, our elected leaders, our country, our states, our city need to be put first. But again, from the Democratic side, we constantly see them stepping over to help illegal or another country. And it just, when you hear people like Tucker Carlson say that, it just knows that, like, okay, I align with that. There's other people that think like I do, and this needs to be done.
There's no concern at all, and where there's no concern, there's no love, actually. Concern grows from love. It's organic, it's easy. You didn't have to read a book about how to love your children. It came naturally to you. They're your children. And by the way, that's enough. I know, I'm one of them. Not super well-educated, non-geniuses. We have a lot of dumb parents who are pretty good parents. Not because they learned some theory about parenting from the Harvard School of Parenting, but because they love their children.
Yes.
And if you love your children, you may make a mistake here and there. I have. Every parent has. But over time, if your actions are guided by a sincere love for your child, that child's gonna be okay.
Yes.
Because that's all that matters. And so, if over time you totally ignore the material and spiritual condition of your people, if they wind up sleeping on the street and the storefronts are closed and the windows are broken and they can't walk to CVS without getting mugged, and it's physically unclean, that's not an accident. They don't love you, they hate you. That is true. Do not listen. I talk for a living, so I think a lot about this, about words and their use. And I use words, we all do, to communicate with other people. It's what separates us from the animals. It's not the opposable thumb. Whoever thought of that is an idiot. It's language. It's language. It's the ability to be precise about the way we feel and communicate that to another person, to pass on information, to pass on our history. That's what our culture is. It's talking. And that's great. But words are also, if you think about it, a means of deception. They are a vector for lying. How do the lies reach you? Because they come out of somebody's mouth. So if you're in my business and you think a lot about language and you're around people who are lying for a living, after a while, you lose faith in it.
100%.
You do.
And that's why we have True Life News. We want to bring the truth to you every single day, no matter where it comes from. Dr. Hill, hey, congratulations. Hey, everybody show Dr. Hill some love in the chat. Tell them congratulations. They just got engaged. So happy for them. But you see, this is where we've got to work really hard to show you the truth, to let you know what's actually going on behind the scenes versus what you're just seeing across most of the mainstream media. Because right now, Facebook and Meta, as much as they want to say they're neutral, they've got caught again, showing bias, being unfair in this election. And let me know, is this election interference?
Trump, this time from Meta's AI chatbot. When asked, why should I vote for Kamala Harris? The chatbot reportedly labels her as a trailblazer and says Harris breaking barriers inspires hope and representation for underrepresented communities. But when asked, why should I vote for Donald Trump? It points out concerns with his character, saying some label him as boorish, selfish, crude, and lazy.
Are you kidding me? Let me tell you this, because I do technology for a living. I've done coding. I've developed before. I've developed applications. This type of stuff only comes whenever a person on the other side is typing it in. It's not the AI generate. No, somebody literally went in there because they know people are asking this and typed it. That is so messed up, and they should be held by Congress for election interference.
And this isn't the first time AI devices have appeared to be political. Remember this one?
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a woman of color who has overcome numerous obstacles to become a leader in her field.
Here to react.
And isn't it so apparent it's only one-sided? It's always one-sided. It's never towards Republicans. It's always with the Democrats. That tells you about how they operate.
Kurt Knudsen. Kurt, why does this not surprise us?
Well, hey, good morning to you, Ainsley. Let's just remember these algorithms are really programmed by human beings. So
exactly.
Big tech is at it again, and here we are with an idea that you go and you're looking for non-biased information from these devices that are all in our lives. Meta AI, now huge. You touch Facebook, you touch Instagram, you're hitting Meta AI.
100%.
And with that, people asking these questions, you would think you're just going to get back the ordinary answer, the most popular answer, maybe something slanted toward your own flavor in life. But in this case, and it's evolved since then, but in this case, this is outrageous. The idea that you turn on any device and you say, hey, why should I vote for Kamala Harris? Why should I vote for Donald Trump? And you get one negative one and one that's just absolutely glowing. It really should be a lot more balanced. I'm just, I'm surprised that Meta has done this.
Most media outlets are against Donald Trump and don't tell the full story. Now we're seeing that with big tech. This is what Meta's spokesperson sent us. Like any generative AI system, Meta AI can return inaccurate, inappropriate, or low-quality outputs. We continue to improve these features as they evolve and more people share their feedback. What's your reaction to that?
Thank you for the low quality in our lives. I think it's a reminder to us to balance ourselves out with people you actually relate to, your friends, watching shows like ours where you actually can relate to us. We're not a machine that's just regurgitating information. We actually have brains. And in this case, you're wise to watch us instead of tune into any of this Meta AI garbage that's out of the market.
Yeah. Well, Kurt, we're all getting all these messages, these text messages on our phones because it's political season and we're still, weeks away from the election. What do we do about these text messages if we don't want to receive them? And how can we tell they're not scams?
I am, goodness gracious, this is hitting my cell phone, text message, nonstop. And I'm getting complaints of people with this.
And you see this? Look at this. Please confirm, do you pledge to vote for Kamala Harris? So check this out. There's actually another video that's getting pretty popular right now that they're trying to pull kids. They're trying to pull kids to the side while they're 17, about to turn 18, trying to push them to do what? To vote for Kamala Harris. And this mom comes out and she just lets them have it. Check this out.
Before I start this video, I'm going to say this is a personal experience of mine, something me and my daughter is dealing with, and I have proof, just in case my video is deleted for no reason.
Right there, when you already feared that your video is going to get deleted, that lets you know that you're going against the system.
Just want to put that out there. Today, my 17-year-old daughter was pulled out of class and was told she needed to register to vote. Not only was she told how to register, she was told who she should vote for. And these are her words. And I'm going to upload proof at the end of this video. And I'm coming with part 2 tomorrow. Because why the fuck
hey, sorry,
would y'all pull my daughter out of class telling her who to vote for? I am her mother. And I have yet to have this conversation with her about the upcoming election. I have not signed any consent forms telling y'all that my daughter can register to vote at school. I'ma just jump right into these screenshots. That's just it. Cause y'all played with the wrong mom. Here's the first page. I'ma leave this on for a couple seconds so y'all can read it. Talking about pissed. Telling my daughter who to vote for? You're right. And here's the second page. This is what we're doing. We're going to Pittsburgh public high schools.
You see
telling children who to vote for.
This, to me, is where, like, the line, like, people are getting super upset. People are getting so just, hey, stop trying to infiltrate my kids. Stop trying to step in and be the parent. I'm the parent. Stop trying to control my kids. This is literally happening across the United States, and people are getting fed up. And I'm glad that we have things like X and TikTok where these people are like posting stuff and saying, hey, stop this. Look what's actually happening. They're trying to control them even before they become adults. And you don't think that what Meta Facebook is doing is not trying to control the narrative of when people ask, oh, Trump versus Kamala Harris? It's just censorship of Trump. And it's trying to put him down, try to uplift Kamala Harris. Check this out.
To big tech billionaires, the party of inclusion and forward thinking really wants to shut you up.
You know, social media, we're still arguing about, hey, we shouldn't have let young kids use it as much. Right. And how do you balance free speech and versus crazy stuff that, you know, got people not to take vaccines, for example.
Right.
Really?
We're now live in the studio, the author of Truth, the Future of America First, the former 2024 GOP presidential candidate, the one, the only, Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek, good to see you. Thanks for being with us.
Good to see you guys.
I gotta tell you, and I know you talk about this a lot, but I mean, that you have such powerful players that are working so hard, fighting so hard, advocating with such ferocity to silence people's viewpoint because they don't like it.
Well, the reality is they're afraid of the voters. And this is why we fought an American Revolution in 1776, actually, to make sure the people we elect to run the government are the ones who run the government. And right now, I mean, I don't think anybody in America believes that Joe Biden is even running, as President of the United States, is really running the country. The reality is it's unelected bureaucrats in this managerial class of the deep state. They're the ones pulling the strings. They're the ones who are also very critical of voters having full access to the information they need to make decisions. It's a big part of why I wrote this book as well, is to expose what's true. It's so much harder to access truth today, ironically, in an era of digital freedom, supposedly, than it was even 30 years ago. And I think that's interesting.
Because if you silence people, you can control them.
That's
and
right.
If Kamala Harris
there.
were to be elected president, she would just keep this whole sham going. I mean, she really wouldn't be president either.
She's the embodiment of this. And many people think of Kamala as an ideologue. I actually think that's giving her too much credit. I don't think she's ideological. She's just another cog in that machine.
Yeah.
In the same way Biden's
machine.
cognitive deficits, they're not a bug, but they're a feature for the people who control him. The same thing go for her policy deficits now. So I think that when we think about this as just Republicans versus Democrats ideologically, we miss the point. I think it is this deeper managerial machine. And we got to go in and dismantle that machine.
And this is the problem. Those who run the government, just to your point, use a Kamala Harris or a Joe Biden as a vehicle for them to implement their ideas and their agenda. They don't like Donald Trump because actually Donald Trump will be the president. Donald Trump will run the administration. They're like, well,
100%.
you're going to disenfranchise us? I thought we run the government.
That's right.
And he'll be like, no, I won the election. I'm going to run this government, which is why I think they hate him so much. But I want to have time to get to this because you just came out with your new book called Truths, The Future of America.
So this is, again, too, it's all about control. Because what I'm about to show you next, I promise you, you're not going to see it on any mainstream media. It's what's happening in Congress. It's what's happening with the FCC. A far left progressive is just got the approval by the FCC to fast track purchasing 220 plus radio stations. Well, what is his agenda? What, you've heard of him, George Soros. Why is it that with every other deal, they don't fast track? They always follow the process, but for this one, they're not. Listen to this.
You've indicated there's a transaction where a Soros-backed group would take ownership of over 200 radio stations across 40 different markets after the FCC originally indicating that transaction could be reviewed and approved at the bureau level without a commission vote. It's now become clear that that is a decision before the full commission, and it's one that I would assume now or in the near future the commission would approve. I think what's interesting about it is that the FCC here is not following its normal process
right
for
there.
doing a transaction. We have established over a number of years one way in which you can get approval from the FCC when you have in excess of 25% foreign ownership, which this transaction does. And it seems to me that the FCC is poised to create, for the first time, an entirely new shortcut.
Yeah, thank you. As you pointed out here and previously, these proceedings for transfer of ownership have been expedited. What exactly makes this case so deserving of an expedited proceeding so far, from what you could tell?
There is nothing about this transaction that is out of the ordinary. It's the type of thing that we see all the time, and the FCC has a process for this. The full commission itself has never signed off on a shortcut like this. What we usually do is we require people to file a petition with us. We bring in national security agencies. They can review the foreign ownership. It's probably no big deal here, but we review that foreign ownership and then we vote. Here, they're trying to do something that's never been done before at the commission level.
And what are they trying to do it right before the election? None of this is by coincidence. None of this is happenstance. And when you look at how much they're trying to get Ted Cruz out of office right now, the $100+ million that they're pouring into the election against him, it is insane because they cannot stand a true believer. Check this out.
Senator Ted Cruz joins me now. You know, it's funny to make fun of Senator, But how dangerous is this situation right now with Joe Biden and Dr. Jill running things?
Look, it is terrifying. You look at that press conference where he was introducing the Prime Minister of India, and he stood up there and he says, "Who's next? Who's next?" He doesn't know where he is. And watching that, the reaction that our allies have, the reaction that our enemies have, is who the hell's running America? That is frightening, and I don't think it's Jill Biden, but I got to say that is bizarre. I've never seen a first lady presiding over a cabinet meeting, and it's the president's not able to do it, and the answer is it's Kamala Harris, and it's the radical extreme who have been in favor of this open borders, this out-of-control spending, this extreme agenda for 4 years, and this agenda is hurting the American people.
100%.
Everything Kamala Harris has supported for 4 years, she's running away from now, and she's trying to pretend she's Donald Trump because the Biden-Harris agenda has hurt the American people.
Are the same people that controlled Joe Biden going to be the same people that control Kamala Harris? Is it like one guy, or is it just a bunch of unelected bureaucrats who will never know their names?
The Democrat running for the White House.
Look, Jesse, I'll give you the most terrifying answer. I don't know. I genuinely don't know who is running things. I'm in the United States Senate. Republican senators sit around at lunch. None of us know. It's some combination of Barack Obama and Kamala Harris and the radicals in Congress. It is Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and AOC and Bernie Sanders. But what we know is the extreme agenda, whether it is Kamala, unlike Joe Biden. Joe Biden's a puppet. Kamala Harris is a true believer. She believes it.
Mike Stroud with the super chat. Thank you so much for that blessing. Hey, everybody, show Mike some love in the chat.
This stuff. And look, in my race, I'm running for re-election in Texas. Colin Allred is a radical leftist, just like Kamala Harris. He's voted 100% with Nancy Pelosi his first 4 years in office. But I got to tell you, Jesse, Chuck Schumer and George Soros are flooding cash into the race. They're spending over $100 million. We just had a poll come out last week that had me losing the race by 1 point. So I want to urge your viewers, go to tedcruz.org, tedcruz.org. I need your help because $100 million on the left is trying to flip Texas. So I need you to go to tedcruz.org, give 25 or 50 or $100 so we can defend Texas and defend the whole country.
No, I don't think the great people of Texas are going to let that happen. Senator Ted Cruz, thanks.
Let me tell you this. The money is going like crazy to fight certain individuals who have certain ideals, who are trying to see things a certain way. Because I'm telling you this, the more and more, the closer we get to the election, the more crazier stuff that we're seeing. And it breaks my heart too, because you would think that, you know, some people see it and a lot of them do, but who you're about to see next, who literally is calling this out, is unprecedented. There's a guy by the name of Jamie Dimon. I don't know if you know who he is, but if you've ever heard of Chase Bank, it's the #1 bank in the United States, the largest bank. He's the CEO. This is a big time dude. Listen to what he has to say, and this is common sense.
Screwing up tons of other things, including immigration, but life isn't either or. So, you can't say, well, we'll do this and do that. You're dealt the hand you're dealt, and you got to deal with it. And so we should be very clear about helping the lower income population. No country, every country's got to control the borders, and we have to control the borders. And so, so they're all important.
Would you take the deal that the Republicans have put on the table, though, which is we want this border immigration policy as we've laid out, and then we'll fund the rest? Would you rather take that than neither?
I have not read that deal in total, but I probably would take it. Yeah. We have to control the borders. We need more merit-based immigration. We need more seasonal immigration. We need more. We need DACA have a place here. We need a path to citizenship. If you do not control the borders, you are going to destroy our country. And so I think the people who think that somehow this is okay. So now they're sending the migrants into New York and stuff like that. So all of my super liberal friends, now they realize what a problem is. Did it have to be that? That we realize it. So we want to have a big heart for the world, but we have to.
Did you hear that? He said, "Look, it wasn't a problem for all my liberal friends. They all supported open borders until they started sending them to New York, until they started sending them to their own neighborhoods, oh, then we got to fix the border. Oh, then we've got a problem that needs to be addressed. This is how fake this whole thing is, and it bothers me because there's a lot of people that get hurt in the process of all the politics that happen, and it doesn't have to be that way. We can protect our borders, put Americans first, and get politics out of the freaking way and put Americans first. That's how our politicians need to speak. Yet that's not what we're hearing. Check this out.
Border has a huge polling and credibility problem on solving the border crisis. Vice President Kamala Harris, of course, and now her campaign is floating the idea of going to the border during a campaign stop in Arizona this week. She's been the Biden administration's person in charge. Yet her only visit there was in 2021. She went to El Paso, Texas. At the time, that was certainly not the epicenter. Had she gone to the Rio Grande sector, she would have seen a lot. She ought to try out Nogales, actually, if she's going to Arizona. Fentanyl continues to flow across the border, no matter what our Border Patrol is doing, and they are doing a mighty job. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris has been staying silent about her past promises to use White House power to unilaterally give 2 million dreamers, undocumented, here illegally, the children of people who came here illegally. She wants to give all of them a path to citizenship. The campaign told Axios, quote, "The vice president has fought for dreamers throughout her career and is proud of the actions taken under her and President Biden to expand protections for them, including the executive action President Biden took this year, which she supported."
Wow.
End quote. Axios calls this another of her many policy reversals, flip-flop on the border. Here are some of her past positions. Watch closely. They're different.
I think there's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role and the way that it is being administered and the work it is doing.
Let me just be very clear. We have to have a secure border, but I am in favor of saying that we're not going to treat people who are undocumented and cross the border as criminals. Let me be very clear. I'm not going to vote for a wall under any circumstances, and I do support border security, and if we want to talk about that, let's do that. He has decided to vilify immigrants and put his whole political strength around a vanity project called a wall.
Okay, did you catch it? Anybody coming across the border cannot be called illegal. Well, I hope she's not including gotaways and all those people who are trying to avoid the detection systems that they have down there and all of our people trying to catch them. Is everybody legal immediately? Let's hear what she's saying now.
We know our immigration system is broken, and we know what it takes to fix it. Comprehensive reform.
Tracy J. Norby, thank you so much for that blessing. He says, the country is in such a mess they created 100%. America should always come first. Y'all be blessed, y'all. Hey, appreciate you so much. Show Tracy some love in the chat, everybody. 100%. Look how flip-flop you can't. These are the people you can't trust. These are the people that they're so polarizing, bipolar when it comes to what they'll say and do whatever they need to do to get into office, but they don't have no morals or values that they stand on that actually put America first.
That includes strong border security and an earned pathway to citizenship. I refuse to play politics with our security, and here is my pledge to you. As president, I will bring back the bipartisan border security bill that he killed, and I will sign it into law. I believe there should be consequence. We have laws that have to be followed and enforced that address and deal with people who cross our border illegally.
Now, I mentioned the polling and the lack of credibility on this issue. Tammy Bruce is now with me, Fox News contributor. I am going to, Tammy, ask our team to put up those numbers on where the polling is right now in America, because I think it's worth showing that part of the response, should she go to the border later this week in Arizona, part of that response has to be coming, and there it is.
Look at that. That is
the
a
only
huge,
thing that beats it is something that's
deal.
Hurting everybody too. High prices under this administration.
Let me show you this, because this is what I feel like doesn't get seen enough. They always talk about this bipartisan border wall. that didn't get passed. And I want to actually show you what the details of that border wall was. This is from Congressman Byron Donalds, and he lays out the 10 points of why this border deal failed. Number 1, it codified catch and release, let in 1.8 million illegals, funded sanctuary cities, funded NGOs moving illegals, lawyers to illegals, taxpayer-funded lawyers to illegals, work permits to illegals, nothing to deport illegals, no immediate wall funds, weak asylum screening, and $60 billion to Ukraine. That's why it didn't get passed. This is the stuff that those dang medias won't show you, but yet and Kamala Harris and all of them say, oh, we had a border wall. No, you didn't. You had a thing to fund your voter demographic, to increase your voter demographic. That's all this is. It's for Democrats to try to get more votes. And that's why it didn't pass. This is the truth that everybody needs to see.
A third of voters surveyed said that immigration is important to them in second place.
Yeah, and this is daily lives. We understand politics. We're a great country. We go through this every 2 years. We get it. And there's a point where we realize that we're at stake, right? And life, there's nothing guaranteed in life, but this is dangerous. And let me just say, yesterday, a New York Times Siena poll, and the reason she's going to Arizona isn't because she cares about the border. She likes what's been happening. Is that this is the first poll they've done since the debate. Is Trump is up beyond the margin of error in Arizona by 5. And this is why she's going. She's seeing, and it's likely voters. Most polls have been doing registered voters. It's likely voters. He's not only up in Arizona, but also in North Carolina and Georgia. He is leading her. So these are important indicators. After that debate, which she won, apparently not so much, the results matter. And Americans are really, we understand that people make mistakes and change their mind, but we want specifics about what it is you're going to do about the fact that our house is on fire. If the fire department is like having chats and talking gobbledygook and word salads, you say, put the fire out. And when you don't hear that, you begin to make another plan.
Well, look, we have a lot of fires. I don't know if you caught Senator Dan Sullivan, where we started today with.
And this is huge right now, where we're at. All this politics getting in the way of American people, getting in the way of Americans being taken care of. That's what's actually happening, and that's what really bothers me. I want to say thank you, Kenny, for upgrading membership to I Support America First. Everybody show Kenny some love in the chat. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that is watching. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We want to serve you every day with the top news, and I'm telling you this, we are on a mission to do some good with this channel. I want to say thank you to all those that have given a super chat donation. Woodbury Hill Studio and Dr. Hill, congratulations to them for getting engaged. Mike Stroud, Tracy J. Norby, super fan of the channel. And Kenny, thank y'all so much. We are here to serve you. And I just want to say we appreciate every view. We appreciate every thumbs up, like. My family, we are so grateful for this channel, and we just want to make sure that we continue bringing forth the truth every single day and show you the things that you normally don't see. We appreciate all of our members of the channel. I see Dana Scott, Julie Jordan. We're just so thankful, Josie, for all of you all. And I just want to say, after talking with my wife, we've never thought we'd be able to have 145,000 plus subscribers on the channel, but hey, we're not stopping here. We got to get past 1 million and then some. We love you all. Thank you so much, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.